Back here, we have the redstone access for these moss farms. I have an off-on switch that connects to all four. The sun is rising on day 1000 in my single-player Minecraft survival world, and I've decided to celebrate it by giving a small world tour and then starting to do some videos and streams from the world. I'm starting out here on my highest building in this small urban section of the world, because this rooftop right here on this teal building is spawn. In every way, shape, or form, from the 10 or 20 times that I've died and respawned without a bed, you will spawn somewhere on this rooftop, and it is up to you to get down safely. Inside of that building is some sugarcane farms and the gunpowder storage from, as you could probably hear, the building we were standing on before is full of cats as a creeper farm. Going around this corner, we have this little red building here that has an iron farm inside of it, and I recently upgraded it to have auto crafters that condense everything into the block form, which is really handy. Big fan of the auto crafter edition. This is low glycans, low and likable, properly priced commodities, which is a little newspaper stand and shell for a small glow lichen farm, if you couldn't guess by the name. This area here, I intend on making a small central park with a couple fountains and some small, thin, but tall trees. And then around here is a few more things like a tree farm and some more plans that aren't really worth talking about because they only exist in my brain at this point in time. It took me a while to realize that I should make a map of the area. So this is the earliest map that I have, and you can kind of see that there was already a lot of work done, a lot of the flattening of this terraforming, most of the winery and pathway over here was already done. A lot of the village was already like touched up. This one over here is the most recent map that I've done, and you can see that there's been a big chunk of terraforming done and some other things that we're going to get more detailed with over time. Over here, if I hit this button, I'll fall into the sewer, and this is my in-base XP farm, making use of allays and infestation potions. It comes out inside of this little bin here. We have the rock market, which is my villager trading hall. We have this chute in all of the layers where you can throw things down to the barrel. We have a level of librarians, a level of cartographers, which I really wish had the original glass pane trades still. That nerf hurt me a lot. We have this general level with our tool trades and some farmers. We have 2 levels of, I always forget their name, clerics, 2 levels of clerics. And then 3 levels of masons for all of my terracotta and quartz needs. The very top level is a little bit of a penthouse for the CEO of the rock market. And then if we go up this last layer, we will be on the rooftop, where we have a small garden and the bed that I use the most on this server. And yeah, the elevator has no way down, but as you might have been able to figure out. Ow! I'm a big fan of jumping into fountains, but usually I look down and don't break my ankles. This building over here is my storage system, which is a design that I got from Ethos Lab on the Hermitcraft server. Big fan of this system. It's semi-automatic, semi-manual. Well, it's fully manual, but it's easy to switch between the shulker boxes. I would definitely recommend checking that out, although he never did a great tutorial. You kind of have to follow along in the video and figure out how he did it. Moving down out of this major city area, which I may have not mentioned, I call New Spawnia. Past New Spawnia here, we have this farming area, which is Rainbow Sheep Farms. We will see shortly. We have a few windmill bone meal generators. We have some coral blocks decorating the spruce planks that are waterlogged. We have a little bit of a well here with an infinite water source. We have a map, which well, not really a map. We have a community board here, which I want to decorate more, but I don't really have a good plan. The second level of the barn isn't decorated yet, but I plan on having basic animals stored there. But in this bottom level, we have an automatic wool farm, all of which get dispensed into water streams and end up in these chests. If you walk around the side of the barn here, we have a few silos as well as some Jeb sheep. And if you use your imagination, maybe all of the sheep in there actually came from the Jeb sheep. And we don't need to tell anybody about our little glass apartments that we have for our sheep in there. Over this way, the path leads to a Looney Tunes drop-off because I haven't quite settled down on what I want to build over there. And as a result, I don't have a plan for the bridge. Down through this level, we have a little bit of untouched area. I'm going to expand the farmland here in some way, shape, or form. And we also have a temporary moss carpet bridge over to the spawn village, which is Spawnia. We have Spawnia and New Spawnia, and then we have the winery section over there. Making our way past this little mess hall building, we have a few different bridges and ways to get up and down through this village. This way takes us up past this mostly vanilla building. I also built this modern one with some terracotta grass because I think it goes well with the modern style. And over here is another more generic, kind of typical Minecraft. I was trying to combine the pale oak with the birch because pale oak had just been added, which is why it's all around these builds. We have another well up to the next level. We have a couple more little houses, nothing super fancy. We have a flat section up here, which has plans for it, but nothing underway yet. If we come down this bridge, however, we have this building, which is decently far along the way. It is a store of sorts for the winery. It's not directly connected, but the winery would bring barrels of it up to here, and then the crane loads it up to this loading dock, and then they have barrels to age. They have things to sell. I have some notes about ways I want to decorate the inside of this building, but I haven't gotten around to starting it yet. And then up here, there's going to be a desk that will have tours of the winery area, and then you can come out this way and get a look at the winery. Originally, it was just these berry bushes, but then once the pale forest got added, I was able to farm these resin to get these resin tree kind of deals, which I never want to do again. If I ever build with resin again, I'm definitely going to build a farm for it because the manual way sucks. We have this cool yellow building that I'm a big fan of with my enchanting table in it. And then over here, if you ignore the dirt chimney, I don't want to talk about it right now. It's one of the main ways that this building isn't finished. We have the winery building. This building is based on a winery that I found on the internet, which I will hopefully put a picture up now. I do have some details that I still plan on adding, like some finer details, some windows, some doors, but I haven't quite gotten to all of that yet. In here, we have a moss farm. It's 4 moss farms. All of them connect with water streams to this area over here, fully condensed into bone blocks. And we've got a decent amount, like I think 3 shulker boxes worth at this point, something like that. Not too bad at all. I do have a bad habit of flying away and letting it break, so I have to fix it every so often, probably including right now. But this would be the winery, and then over here we have a loading dock where the trucks load up full of the barrels, and then they have the pathway here created by the truck tires. And if you follow the path up this way, we can see our truck that is delivering the barrels to the crane in the store. This truck is based on one that Pearlescent Moon built in Hermitcraft Season 9. And we can get another look at the mess hall, including this little light gray concrete powder window that I was a big fan of. I have plans to do a couple custom trees here that I haven't got around to yet. But I wanted to make all of this make sense. I wanted the truck to be able to exist here without questioning why there aren't cars and roads everywhere in these cities. and I think I did a pretty good job. You can see where the tire tracks lead them here, and then they back up into this spot, and then they can pull forward back onto the path to go back to the winery. I think all of it makes sense. I considered a train, I considered a trolley, I considered other types of vehicles, but I think that it's okay for this to exist in the context of the rest of these cities and villages not having roads. Trying to think about any other stuff I missed aside from my beautiful rooftops. Let me see. Up here on top of the storage building, I have some lion statues, which I'm a big fan of. I used the polished red sandstone. And if you ignore this middle head, you can kind of see like these are the two eyes, and then this is like a little mouth. I think it definitely works. I have plans to put a rooftop greenhouse in this section. I just haven't. How many times can I possibly say I just haven't gotten around to it in one video? Holy smokes. Anyway, it's day 1000 in the world. There's a lot of things that I've gotten done, and there's obviously a lot of things that I want to do and just haven't got to yet. So we're going to get to some of those soon. Give a little bit of a teaser. When I upload this video, I'm going to immediately go into my first live stream on Twitch. So if you are seeing this fairly close to when it was uploaded, go to twitch.tv/NyxpupTV and maybe I'm live on there. We've got big plans for what the next project is. And I'll go ahead and give a little bit of a teaser if you made it this far. I'm going to use the Happy Ghasts. The brand new Happy Ghast 1.21.6 brings us the Happy Ghasts. They have variations for every color, and we're making hot air balloons. And the world is going to expand a little bit in the city and a little bit beyond the city. But you'll have to tune into the streams or my next upload in order to get an idea as to what that's going to look like.